is going on? We are back in black in the building. What is going on? Shout out to everybody out there. James Youngblood, David from No Compromise, Shawnee, Eric, Natasha, all y'all out there. We got a great topic. I'm going to keep talking about it because we definitely need it. I don't care what y'all say. And if y'all don't want it, I will take y'all reparations. And you can donate it to the United Negro Warren Fund if you don't want reparations. Straight up and down. Let's get it. Man. I'm going to keep talking about it till the cows come home. I was reading this article, and this article is on Yahoo. As a white man, I struggled with how to feel about reparations for black Californians. Opinion. So let me start off by reading this. It's been almost 3 years since Governor Gavin Newsom and the California legislature launched a discussion about the state's responsibility to provide reparations for resident African Americans who are descendants of the nation's slavery period from 1619 to 1865. In 2020, along party lines, the legislature approved Assembly Bill 3121, which called for the creation of a task force to study and provide recommendations on reparations for slavery to the black community. Newsom signed the bill into law on September 30th, 2020. Opinion. Now the task force has drafted its proposed path with a final report due by July 1st. And then what? Y'all notice that it didn't take all this shit for the white dominant Jewish community to get their reparations, but I digress. Reparations are an issue that will not die quietly, nor will it be easy to find a clear compromise. As a white person, I see this as among the most difficult policies journeys California has undertaken, and we are far from a resolution. Even the 9-member reparations task force split 5-4 on defining eligibility for reparations after a 6-hour hearing. A successful policy journey for California would result in some combinations of future actions that advance justice and equity, but the prospect of ruinous emotional train wreck feels quite real and beyond worrisome. My journey in considering reparations has evolved into 4 distinct phases. First, at eases come the absorption of the undeniable facts. California's task force to study and develop reparations proposal for African Americans has 5 appointees from the governor and 4 by legislative leadership. The draft recommendations persuasively make the case for the array of harms visited upon African Americans broadly, and more specifically African Americans living in California since the state's founding. Those harms are manifested today in grim statistics such as, I want y'all to pay attention, the average black non-Hispanic person lives 7.6 years less in California than a white non-Hispanic person. While surveys have shown similar levels of drug use across America's racial spectrum, the percentage of black people who have been imprisoned is 3 times greater than their percentage of the nation's population. A legacy of zoning and financial institution practices helped lead to only 36.8% of black people owning their home in California in 2019 compared to 63.2% of white people owning their own home. Second came a review of proposed remedies and, quite frankly, a negative reaction to the proposed algorithms for reparations. I'm reading this, so I want everybody to pay attention. The task force monetized the proposed reparations right down to the dollar. For example, the proposed reparations for health harms in $13,619 for each year lived in California. Proposed reparations for mass incarceration is $2,352 for every year lived in California between 1971 and 2020. Proposed reparations for housing discrimination is $3,366 for a different time span from 1933 to 1977. The number set off alarm bells. How can such precision to the dollar be possible? Why did the enabling legislation never contemplate the division of reparations responsibilities among California, the federal government, and the Confederate States that so defended slavery. The visceral reaction leads straight into the third part of the journey, introspection. I happen to be a white male who has never feared a cop and never felt discrimination. I am a beneficiary, never a victim of America's past or present. David, you're going to love this part. Author Robin DiAngelo diagnoses my problem with the jarring term white fragility. It is the name of her 2018 book. I have that book and I have read it. That circles like a hawk in my head to this day. DiAngelo essentially challenges white America to get a grip and confront its individual and institutionalized racial bias that perpetuates the inequities and to discuss, rinse, and repeat. Her words did not all ring true, but they certainly motivated introspection. With reparations, why am I reacting so negatively to this task force's calculations when the data demonstrating discrimination is so overwhelming? Meanwhile, the journey toward reparations ultimately turns to raw pragmatism and the political realities of today. Reparations do not have sufficient public support based on a limited number of surveys run from the University of Massachusetts at Amherst in 2021 found opposition from nearly 2/3 of Americans and nearly 90% of Republicans. Yet it was barely a generation ago when there was room inside American politics to actually distribute reparations. Democratic Representative Norman Mineta of San Jose worked with Republican Senator Alan Simpson of Wyoming, friends since their time in Boy Scouts, to pass the Civil Liberties Act of 1988. The U.S. apologized to the estimated 120,000 Japanese Americans who were forced to live in incarceration camps during World War II. Internees received reparations of $20,000 apiece, an act signed into law by President Ronald Reagan, the biggest dope dealer in town. Granted, the issues with the harm inflicted are different, but since the bipartisan act of justice, America's racial divide was widened. All right. Okay. I know you're like, why did he read that all? Now let's get into the nitty gritty. Why is it my first question? We're just going to do a Nearly Fuller Jr. Always start our conversation with a question. Why is it that the white dominant society, Jewish community, which I respect and we love as well, have no problems and no issues getting reparations when what the atrocities that they had faced was in Europe? It wasn't even on this landmass, which is the United States of America Incorporated. So why is it so easy for them to get it and have no opposition, but when it's time for foundational Black Americans to get what we deserve, it's all this pushback? So now that you have identified 1619 to 18, whatever that date was, the antebellum period, so now you've acknowledged that slavery did take place. After all these years, you've acknowledged it. Now it's like, oh, well, how did you guys get those calculations? It's like, man, what? Again, we built this country for free without repayment. This is what we are deserved and what is owed. There are so many families that have been eviscerated because of slavery. Their family lineages, their generational wealth, anything that you try to pass down, how you gonna get it? When the dominant society has had a 500 years head start. That's why you look at the stock market, they dominate that. That's why they dominate 9 areas of people activity, according to Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Nearly Fuller Jr., which is true. I'm a firm believer of that. You know what I mean? So why is it that we know that they dominate 9 areas of people activity? Let's go over the ones we remember. They dominate labor, law, politics, religion, sex, war, education, entertainment. They dominate all these areas, and those are the areas that we need to survive. Not really entertainment, but we need education. We need economics. They dominate economics. So how is it we're supposed to not want reparations for our people? My question to everyone else is, how many of you are a beneficiary from generational wealth? I know I'm not. So how many of you are? And even if you are a beneficiary of generational wealth, you're still owed more than what you're a beneficiary of from your family. That's from your family. We're not talking about what has been done to your family. Imagine if your family and your ancestors had the rights and privileges of the dominant society. Imagine how much wealth would have been passed down to you. See, this isn't just, they just think it's just, even if we do want to trick off the money, it's our money that is deserving of us. We deserve that money. Our ancestors did not build this country for free without repayment for us to just sit up here and act like we don't know what's going on. That's why when I see these beefs, you see the DJ Envy beef and the Rick Ross beef, and then you see the Shannon Sharp and you see the Kwame Brown beef. Do y'all see the dominant society Jewish community beefing? Nope. Do y'all see them putting their cribs on Instagram? They ain't showing you shit. Tell me the last time you saw Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Jeff Bezos, the motherfucker that runs Apple, showing their cribs and shit. No diss to Rick Ross, but it's like, these people are laughing at us. Ladies and gentlemen, they think we are a joke because we have a tendency to be so ego-driven that we don't even know how to handle these beefs in a very, I would say, upbeat way to just say, look, it's just a joke. We're going to dead it, end it. Let's not give the dominant society entertainment. We are their entertainment. Once you wake up and understand that, you be like, man, I don't need to be fighting and arguing with other niggas on TV, like, for what? Do you see a Hollywood executive arguing with another Hollywood executive and putting his house on TV or Instagram and showing what no. So why is it we do that? I think because we came from nothing. We came from slavery. And that has a social trauma and such a very big impact on our everyday thinking. We don't know how to ascertain the intrinsic value of who we are. Go read this. That article that I read was on Yahoo, but go read it. And go read Robert DiAngelo's book, White Fragility. It's basically true. That's why you go to these corn plantations, you don't see no foundational black people in charge. You see people that look like us but are not of us and not supporting us, just like politicians. Politicians, you rent or you lease them, as Dr. Clyde Anderson teaches us. This is our job, what we deserve. And so what do we deserve? I think we deserve reparations. I think every foundational black American, and you can trace their lineage back to the 1866 shit, should get $10 million a piece. I don't give a fuck. I just keep printing money. Y'all act like the money is backed by gold. It ain't backed by shit. And I don't want to hear nothing about the fucking debt and all this other shit. Man, fuck you and that debt. Y'all help illegal aliens every goddamn day. Let them just cross the border and come over here and make $1 out of 15 cent type of shit. And then when the time for the people that built the country for free without repayment, y'all got selective amnesia. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got the benign neglect policy. So go read up on it and understand that. Stop trying to convince the dominant society of what you owe. You know what they know what they owe. They just trying to see if you know your history and you know what the fuck is going on. Know your history. You don't have to know all of it, but know just enough so you can know what is deserving of us. We are special people, as Dr. Clyde Anderson teaches, and we built this country for free without damn repayment. And right about now, I can use some goddamn reparations because I ain't got no goddamn generational wealth. All I got is me. So fuck that. Make a nigga want to move back to California so I get my shit too. All right, man. Y'all already know what it is. You know what it ain't. I'm your boy 1G in the place B. Been Consucker Free since 2003. Guilty, nigga. I'm out. Peace.